Okay, let's work out a few more examples talking about comparing absolute values here. Here we have an example that says the opposite or the negative of the absolute value of 12 is greater than the absolute value of negative 15. Okay, before we can truly see whether this statement is true or false, we need to simplify it so we can see what we're working with. So over here on the left side, we have the distance from 0 to 12 is 12 units. And then we have the negative that we have to bring down. We haven't dealt with it yet. Remember, absolute values like grouping symbols. It has to be done first. Is greater than. This says what is the distance from 0 to negative 15. And that would be 15 units. So now our problem looks more simplified as negative 12 is greater than 15. And again, if we need to draw it out so we can look at it, or just think about the number line in your mind. If 0 is here, negative 12 would be on the left-hand side, 15 would be over here on the right-hand side of 0. So remember, as we go to the left, numbers get smaller. So this says that negative 12 is a smaller number than 15. So is this a true statement? Is negative 12 greater than 15? No. This would be a false statement. Okay, a couple more here. This one says the absolute value of 6 minus 5 is greater than or equal to the absolute value of 6 minus 2. Well, we're going to have to simplify again before we can see. So, absolute value, acting like grouping symbols, we're going to do the 6 minus 5 first, which would be 1. And we still have the absolute value bar. We haven't done the absolute value yet. All we did was what was inside. Greater than or equal to 6 minus 2 is 4, and we still have the absolute value bars around it. Now let's take the absolute value. So the distance from 0 to 1 is 1 unit, and the distance from 0 to 4 is 4 units. Now this is our simplified form. Is 1 in fact greater than or equal to 4? Well, we know that this is not true. This is a false statement. But if you need to think about it, I want you concentrating on, thinking about things in terms of that number line. If 1 is here, 2, 3, 4 is here, remember numbers to the left are smaller, not bigger. That's why this is a false statement. Okay, our last one here says the opposite or the negative of the absolute value of negative 12 is less than or equal to the opposite or the negative of absolute value 15. So one thing at a time here. We have to do our absolute value of negative 12 first. So the distance from 0 to negative 12 is 12 units. And when we do the opposite of that, or the negative of it, it becomes negative 12. Less than or equal to. Over here, we have the distance from 0 to 15 is 15. And then we're going to do the opposite or the negative of that for negative 15. So now our statement says negative 12 is less than or equal to negative 15. And is that true? Well, if we need to look at it, because you want to so bad say, oh yeah, 12 is smaller than 15. Be careful. You have to think about it in terms of our number line. If 0 is here, we would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Negative 15 is to the left. That means this is a smaller number. This one is a larger number because it's to the right. So negative 12 smaller than negative 15? No, that is not true. That is a false statement.